To summarize what we said, we had Rabbi Yehuda in the Mishnah which said that Yechayiv on Shabbos, if you wrote a long word and you wrote only two different letters, you're Chayiv. In a Brayso, there's a bunch of different opinions. Some different opinions. And Rabbi Yehuda says over there that if you write two of the same letter, you're also Chayiv. So the Gemara, the Brayso is not saying his own opinion. The Brayso is saying Rabbi Gamliel's opinion. He himself holds that it has to be two different letters. Now, two of the same letter means two of the same letter, which could be a word. So the examples are the word in the Brayso: Sheish, Teis, Ror, Gag, and Choch. If you wrote those two letters, even if that was not your intention. And the comment says, no, if that wasn't your intention, it has to be two different letters, which is more likely to write a word. Fine. Rabbi Yosi in the Brayso says the same thing that in the Mishnah he said, that it could be just a mark. And then Rabbi Shimon seemingly repeats what the Tana Kama said. Tana Kama learned this out from a pasuk. The pasuk speaks about a korban chatos. It says that if you did an avera, you bring a korban chatos, and then the Mishnah repeats, if you did from the many averas, you're chayv. From one sounds like part. So you do one complete avera or part. So it has to be a part which could be meaningful, could be useful. So it has to be two letters from a complete word. The Rabbi Shimon says the same beginning. That says achas, it says me'achas. So the conclusion is that it has to be a malacha which similar to it can last. That seems like even two identical letters, as long as it forms a word. So it's like Rabbi Yehuda of the Brayso. Why is he arguing? Now you might tell me that he's saying even two of the same letter, which are not a word. Because in Kamei, sometimes they use two of the same letters. But then it'll come out that Rabbi Shimon is more machmir in what's considered a complete avera. And in this subject, we see he's more mekel. Usually he says that it has to be like a complete act, a complete tanning, a complete whole, whatever you intended to do, not part. By a clothing, Tesis says you're making a new clothing, so there has to be even a bit of it is something because you made something new. However, when you're tanning, you only preparing it has to prepare the whole thing because the whole thing is here. If you didn't prepare the whole thing, you didn't do anything. The same as whenever you're fixing something, it has to be the whole thing. Whenever you're making something, it could be part. But the point is that the direction is that it has to be that more is considered preparing, not less. Says the Gemara, you're right. Rabbi Shimon holds that you would think if it says achas, that you have to write the entire pasuk, the entire sentence. Comes the pasuk and says you have to write the whole word, but it has to be a full word. Part of word in a chaim. Fine. Then Rabbi Yosi seems to just tell us, there's more we can learn from this pasuk. It's not just me achas. The whole word achas, heino, me achas, me heino is all extra. And therefore we learn many things from this. Achas, me achas, like all the above what we said, that if you did part of the avera, you're also chayiv, it could be complete, fine. Heino, me heino, we learn from that. Heino, that there are many details, there are many avmalachis, me heino, there are many details which I learned from them, fine. Then achas, me heino, heino, me achas, we learn like this, that sometimes you do one avera, chilul Shabbos, but you have many chatois for each malach. If you knew it was Shabbos and you forgot the malachas, or sometimes it's heina miyachas. You get or I'm not sure which way you read it, but sometimes heina sheyachas. Sometimes you have many avedas, many malachas, but you have only one chatos. If you forgot it was Shabbos, but you knew the malachas, you bring only one chatos for all the malachas. Fine. Then we discussed that Rabbi Yehuda brought an example, or Tana Kama, the Brayso brought an example that shein mishimoin. That if you wrote Shimoin and you just wrote Shin Mem, you're already chayiv because it's already a word. So it's not a word. Shem you have to write with a final mem. And Shimon is with a regular mem. And there's a clear Brayso which says it in the Sefer Torah that Tefillah Mezuzos, that it has to be the right thing. It has to be a proper final mem or a regular mem. You can't change them. Says, what are you right? That's what the Brayso says, that's the halacha, but there's an opinion which says no, that you could switch them. Because there's an opinion which learns from a final mem and a yud and a final mem to the word mayim, nisach hamayim and sukkis. We learn it from the extra final mem, two extra final mems and a yud. So according to him, you could exchange them, and therefore you're chayiv just writing shin with a regular mem, although you intended to write shimoin. Although shin would usually have to have a final mem, you're chayiv with a regular mem as well.